What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Uh, Ash just had an interview with Cirilla, and she just dropped a lot of things that we got to talk about. So we're just gonna jump right into it.
I actually wanted to kind of throw to you, primal shards, mythical champions. I have a billion questions, but why don't you just tell me, or start wherever you want to start, whatever you kind of want to open this chat up with.
We've been monitoring what people have been saying about the mythical champions and how the community has been really hyped up about the whole thing. So we thought that we might have had a bit of a falling out in terms of community.
Hyped? Mythical champions? I don't know about you, but not me. Not me.
Communicating the whole feature and probably properly addressing the issue of introducing these champions into the game and fitting them into the whole system. So we thought we would talk about this in the video, and that might come across better than we would just throw out a text format of explanation somewhere. Where I wanted to start is from the changes that we implemented last week into the game, which had to do with the modifications to the Mercy system involving mythical champions, and then we reduced the price for shards, for primal shards, by adding them to regular offers. I don't think how regular they are, considering the fact that they just have been introduced into the game. But
Gotcha.
My message is that this is not it, and we have a whole array of other things that we would like to happen in the game that would improve the feature for players.
Thank you. First of all,
Okay. I mean, I did a whole video on this anyways, but the introduction of the mythical shards, the mythical champions, and then bringing the prices down, I think that was just kind of a marketing ploy, right? They did it with the soul stones. Everything was expensive at the start, and then they came down to like 50 cents a piece for the small ones, and players started buying them up. So I think that's exactly what happened. So it's not big, but I'm very interested to find out at what they say is going to be what they're going to do to change things up, because so far they're absolute garbage for me.
just touching on the communication, obviously, I've been talking to BJM a bit behind the scenes and stuff like that, and I know you've seen the community feedback, so wanted to thank you again. Whether it's good news or bad news or any news or whatever, just love when there's an open line of comms. So again, I really appreciate you coming on here and answering some of the questions that we do have regarding mythical champions and primal shards. I got to ask the first question that comes to mind, and that is 2x primals, but no 2x mythicals. Are you going to be doing any 2x mythicals? Because I'm not going to shave until you guys do.
Me too.
Is that a no?
The short answer is not yet, because there simply are not too many mythical champions in the game for now. We will keep gradually releasing them, and then consider launching some kind of an event like that.
So right there, I'm just going to stop it and say, I mean, they released 5. They got 2 more coming up next week. If they release 2 a month, how long are we talking? Like 2 years before we get like a proper 2x for it? Like, how many is enough for them to be able to, let us have a proper 2x? Until then, I'm just saving my primals, and that's it.
So it's not a hard no, it's just not yet.
Okay, so there's just, okay, I mean, we can move on, but essentially, there's only, what is there, 6 or something right now? Or so it feels like 5, 6. Yep. So you just don't want everybody to get them, okay. Basically. you don't want everybody to collect them all, and then there's no reason to want primal shards, basically.
It's a bad question.
Yeah, I mean, if we collect them all, there's no reason for us to buy primals. They're not going to make money off of them. So.
But yeah, it'll give us a little bit more time, okay, and let us just pour more of them into the world of Plarium, and then some kind of an event is like that is going to happen.
So mythical champions, generally speaking, do you look at that update as a success so far? What do you think? Some people are like, wow, they're very underwhelming. Others are like, oh, they're interesting, but they're not. Their OP-ness does not justify the cost, I guess. And then others are saying kind of ignoring them until the prices can come down. Again, you have had some movement in the Mercy and the costs in that direction. Others are like, I don't want to open a primal shard because I could get a rare champion that's a campaign farmable. So there's all sorts of opinions out there. Mythical champions, should they be better than they are?
Well, we hear and see a lot of opinions. They differ. Some players are saying that they should be OP. Others are saying that no, they shouldn't. We ourselves are leaning more toward the thought that they shouldn't undermine all the years of of the
I agree.
progress that players have been making in the game. What we wanted to do, our main intention was to expand this pool of possibilities to play with the metamorph mechanics of these champions. So no, we don't think that they should be too overpowered, and this is why we are not we're not letting develop two sets of artifacts, because that would bring them obviously closer to being too good.
I agree with her there. You know, as a endgame player that's been playing for almost 4 years, you know, I don't want a mythical champion coming in to a brand new account and then all of a sudden, kind of upscaling their account to my level because that mythical champion is broken and OP'd. I do like that, it's basically two champions in one. You can have some hybrid builds, and there's going to be a lot more coming out, with how you want to build these guys and the quote unquote new metas and stuff. So I like that answer. I'm happy with that one. I'll give her that.
Well, I mean, not too good, but too OP again.
Like power creep everybody in the game, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll just keep gradually releasing them, not at a very fast pace, like 1-2 per month. We think would be enough.
So just like she said, 1 or 2 a month. How long until we get a primal 2x, right? If we're doing 1 to a month, they're doing 12 a year to 24. At what time is the pool big enough for them to release a primal 2x, proper primal 2x, right? 2 years from now. Ash, you better grow that beard nice and long.
Yeah. But we will be introducing, and this is really important, we'll be introducing more ways to actually get champions in the game by, throwing in more resources.
Okay, you mean like quartz and stuff like that? Is that what you're referring to, basically?
Yeah, there are a couple of places that we are not considering already, because this has been discussed and in development and will soon appear in the game. So the Hydro Clash. First, we are going to add more primal quartz in chests, and also we're thinking about adding mythical tomes to those chests.
Okay, so let's just get rid of the whole primal quartz thing, right? Let's just do primal shards, right? There's no need for the quartz. There really isn't at all whatsoever. If you're competing and Hydro Clash is already a pain as it is, there's no reason for us to not, just be able to get a primal shard. The mythical tomes, I really hope they go down that way. She says they're looking into it. I mean, at $25 a tome, it's insane. Not something I'm looking forward to unless it becomes part of the Hydro Clash. And touching on the Hydro Clash, like, it's such a fail, in my opinion. And we'll get to it in a minute too, because they go a little more into like the cadaver nerf and stuff like that. But I really would like just make it like a CVC where everybody gets some sort of consolation prize, but the people that win get better prizes, right? And 4th and 5th tier clans that won could get a 5-star, epic, rare, whatever.
For now, you can get them only in events and tournaments, and soon, the Hydro Clash itself will become more appealing because you'll be able to get more quartz from the chests. Also, the question that may follow is about the cadaver.
Yeah, that was my next question. That way, you're reading my mind. Okay.
You're going to ask about that. It's finally happening next week. Fingers crossed. If all is well, there will be another version release of the game, and with it, we're going to nerf or rather fix cadaver, and namely his A1. We're going to put a 200k cap to the additional damage from his shield.
Gotcha.
So you've literally just nerfed Cadaver and buffed Trundas. Why? There should have been a mechanic put in place that, maybe reduce the damage by a little bit. But now you've both nerfed them on Clan Boss and Hydra. This is going to piss off people. Like, come on. This is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Now, that was just the wrong fix, and I hope you guys share the same sentiment. But this was just a bad nerf. Especially for players that built him, spent everything. Like, they should have just done something else. Like, cap the amount of damage he can do, not to like a percentage, not 200. Like, the comp is no longer viable at all. Can't use it at all.
So
Gotcha.
this is something that we'll ask you to see how it plays out in the end.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, I can speak for myself on that one. I am happy that you're doing that. I'm sure people who went out of their way to build that team and upgrade those champions will not be.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people I've built this team for and are like doing it every week. Again, I think it was the wrong way that they tried to, quote unquote nerf this, but there's going to be a lot of people that are pissed off. And there will be people that are happy because, now that brings other teams, but it literally just means that Cadaver's out and you're just bringing in a double Trunda at the lower stages and you're still going to, nuke whatever.
That's a question. That's a question.
I guess that's probably the nature of the beast to some extent.
Fair.
Yeah. Hydra Clash hasn't been like super popular, at least in my audience. Are there going to be additional ways? I guess part of that's because of Corpulent Cadaver and Infinity Shield teams. Some, complaints on matchmaking and stuff like that as well. Are you further optimizing Hydra Clash from where it is right now? Furthermore, is there going to be other ways in addition to just Hydra Clash that you'll include, like maybe like Hydra or whatever other areas of the game?
Yeah, regarding the rebalancing Hydra Clash, I'm sure our game designers are onto that. They are looking at all the ways that matchmaking may not work properly in all the areas of the game, but I don't have anything specific to say in that regard just yet. However, regarding other ways to get primal quartz. One of them is going to be Live Arena. We are going to be adding primal quartz throughout chests in all the...
Again, why primal quartz, right? I mean, once you get Quintus, most players are done. But why primal quartz? Why not a primal shard? Just saying, you want us to do this? Like, we as content creators, we actually have the content creator games. And, for this game, we decided to do Live Arena. And it's no joke, like one of the most difficult ones. It's fun if you have like a good account, but I don't think it's going to be something that players are going to run towards and want to do just because you're adding the primal quartz. I think a primal shard would have been a better thought.
The tiers. So this is something also to look forward to. Also, one of the non-obvious ways in terms of getting mythical champions or primal quartz, well, in this case, it's about mythical champions, which we don't want to just give players more resources to build mythical champions from. We are also going to introduce the permanent fusion.
Ooh, okay. This is some juicy info. Okay.
Rosin.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Similar to Razin. Yeah.
No.
Be nice. You don't have to agree with her, but at least let her finish her sentences.
So now we already have a permanent fusion for Epic, and then for Razin, and this one's going to be for a mythical champion. And of course, it is suffice to say that it's not going to be easy, well, because it is a mythical champion, but it will be just introducing a lot of ways for players to be able to build the champion over time.
Okay,
so now we're told that it's going to be a mythical fusion coming into the game. We don't know when. I think she does go later on to say that it might come in as early as next week, but it might not be active. I'm not sure. We'll see that in a second. But, what are the requirements going to be on it, right? Are we going to have to fuse like 4 legendary champions to get a mythical? Or is it going to be 4 epics or 5 epics? Is it going to be 10 epics? Like, I really hope I don't have to fuse legendary champions and feed 4 of them into a mythic. And I can kind of see that being a point. I really hope not. I really hope.
Wow, that's good news. Was that champion the permanent mythical fusion that's coming to the game? First of all, any idea when? Are we talking like in a couple weeks? Are we talking like by the end of the year? Or any idea at all there?
From what I know, it's like by the end of the year, definitely, but probably no.
Not like right away.
Actually, it's next week.
Oh,
so.
Well, go.
Okay, so something big was coming next week. I had a pretty good thought about that, and it is a mythical fusion. So I was wrong on it being a guaranteed through some sort of event and stuff, but we're gonna get an in-game mythical fusion for everybody. I'm just worried about what it's going to be gated behind.
Okay, so a permanent fusion is going to be hard to get. Mythical champion.
You may have already seen it.
Okay, so it's going to be one of the Halloweens then. It's going to be one of the Halloweens. No? Okay.
You will see.
First of all, 2 questions. Part 1 is, you guys keep...
You may have already seen it, and maybe it's one of the ones that's currently in-game or one of the Halloween ones, but I'm willing to bet that it's one of the Halloween ones.
Saying in your little update videos on the YouTube channel that there's going to be all this new hard content coming and you're going to need these champions, guys, and blah, blah, blah. And you also dropped the line of like, don't worry, we're going to give you a free mythical champion. So where's that freebie? Is that the permanent fusion that you're referring to? Or is there another freebie? I'm still waiting on my free mythical, Cirilla.
Keep waiting, bitch.
Before I forget, we also know that one of the mythical champions desperately needs to be looked at. This is Siegfried. His survivability needs like a rework, and we're looking in that direction. As for other ways to get a free champion, there's some huge content coming up, and we are looking to get it out by the end of the year, if all goes well. So this is even bigger than the Doom Tower.
Whoa!
It's going
That is big words to deliver on Plarium. Bigger than the Doom Tower. Doom Tower holds a lot of great rewards, right? Something that every player does month to month, day to day. They don't want to miss out on it. We get Sacred Shards, we get Void Shards, we get Legendary Tomes. That's really a lot for you to commit to. And I'm sorry to say, but the last couple of big drops you've done have been a fail. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt in saying that you took Doom Tower and made it 10 times better, but going to be hard.
to provide a lot of content.
You gave me my title, Cirilla, even bigger than Doom Tower.
Really a lot of content.
Wow.
To conquer.
Holy moly, even bigger than Doom Tower. Wow, you're getting my juices flowing here. This is exciting news.
Similar to how you can get Lydia from Faction Wars, you can also get a mythical champion in this area of the content.
What area did you say again? What?
So I guess it's going to be maybe faction specific or stuff like that. You probably, it wouldn't surprise me if they just rinse and repeat Doom Tower with more stages, a little more difficulty, and just said here, you get 1 fragment per floor or 1 fragment per boss, and you have to, beat every boss. It's going to take you 10 months. Probably something like that.
Was it?
No.
It was worth a try.
You will see in good time. It's just that we.
Whoa.
No, I really want to spoil that.
I'm not fancy enough for you.
He did a good try right there, and I think that may cost him.
I get it, to break the news. So we got something bigger. I can't believe you said bigger than Doom Tower. That is lofty, Cirilla. That is lofty, because Doom Tower is the best update you guys have ever came out with, in the opinion of yours truly. Primal Shards. Why do you include rares in Primal Shards? People really did not like the rares being included.
Sacred Shards are still like the best. They should be the best. And then Void Shards and Mythical Shards, they should be approximately of the same value. It's just that they provide different champions in terms of how they could be utilized in.
So I don't even want to listen to the reaction to that or the response to that. Honestly, having the rares in the mythical shards is perfectly fine. Just reduce the amount, the percentage of being able to pull one, right? Make the legendary mythicals, or you could keep the mythicals where it's at, maybe bring it up to 1%, and then, give us a little bit more of a chance, especially since it's so scarce to try to get. And I know their response is going to be, we'll get more, as more content comes out and whatnot, and we'll give you more primal quartz. That seems to be their answer, is just primal quartz. Just get rid of those, please.
The game, and we didn't want from the start, we didn't want primal shards to cannibalize the importance of the sacred shards.
Okay, I understand that.
Basically, a sacred shard is worth $20. A primal shard is worth $7. We want you to buy the sacred shard because there's more of a chance for you to get a legendary in that one than there will be on the primal shard, and we make 3 times the amount of money on the sacred shards than we do on the primals.
It was I'm not gonna lie, it was a big bummer to see the rares and be like, and my first primal was a War Maiden Cirilla, and I'm like, a campaign farmable rare.
That's really painful.
So that really sucks. But at the same time, I guess one way to think about it is like, man, if there were no rares, it'd be a lot more premium, let's say, expensive, aka. But you did say in the initial post, for now, you said we're not gonna include voids in primals for now. Is that something that you're just like, it's imminent that voids will someday be added, or is that just like you're leaving it open for the future, but it's no immediate plans?
Yeah, no plans for the not distant future, but we may reconsider this. It's like, the whole process is very dynamic, and we may look at different directions while developing the game, so who knows? Okay,
appreciate it. But back to...
Basically, that answer was just summed up, and when is the next game that's going to come out that could potentially hurt raid? That's when we'll release something like that, so we can bring players back.
The new content. This is good stuff. We've been fiending for new stuff, obviously. Can you tell us absolutely anything? Like, will it be a dungeon? I guess you can't, right? I mean, you shut me down. You shut me down. But you did break the news. I'm excited.
It's a huge area
Okay.
of content. It's a like big ocean of content, but
Ocean.
yeah, it was a good time.
Ooh, ocean. Okay. So my question regarding the geez, I'm trying to think, is there any way I can get anything out of her, guys? Is there anything? Am I missing something here?
One tiny question, tell me, do your demons bleed?
I think that in terms of the new content.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Just something I thought of. It's not Great Void.
Okay, it's not Great Void.
It's not the Void Tower that everyone has been talking about. It's something else.
What about Great Void?
No, don't get me there.
Okay, the only things in the game right now that are hidden still, 4 or 5 years after the game was launched, is the last faction and the Great Void that I can think of, unless I'm missing something. And it's
full of surprises.
they're both surprises. It's Great Void. That's been in there for a long time, Cirilla. It's been in there for a long one. Is it going to be?
It's not that yet.
Okay, I made. Let me. Okay, so I asked you as much as I can about the new content. We'll have to wait and see. I do want to ask you this. I want to ask you about all the quality of life stuff, right? So first of all, you can see by my inbox right here, Cirilla, that I am. This must say something about my personality type because I'm sitting at 400 out of 400 in the inbox, right? So I can't even like raid anywhere, or it's deleting something or whatever. I say all that to say that it's because my artifacts are also full. So let's start with artifact storage. I mean, you guys keep releasing awesome artifacts vis-a-vis the Forge, vis-a-vis different areas of the game. Can you please? Is it? I'm a nerd, but I'm not that big of a nerd where I can understand coding. To me, it's just like, why don't you just have a coder go in there and just change a parameter to 10,000 artifact storage? Boom, done. Everybody's happy. Is it that easy?
I will look for you. I will find you.
Can you guys increase artifact storage? Is my long-winded question.
Well, the short answer is we are increasing the storage for artifacts, accessories, and champions for all the 3 categories. I think it's by the end of the fall. And we are adding 200 slots to each.
Okay, so we're getting more space, which means more silver we got to use, more gems we got to use. It's already expensive enough. Is it going to be in the vault, or is it going to be in the reserve vault? Because the reserve vault is much cheaper, and I'm rather willing to put in that one than the regular vault, because we all know that it's costs an arm and a leg to buy something in the vault for storage.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, that's
Dude,
the
this
short
is good.
answer. And addressing your question about why can't you just throw in like another billion additional slots?
Yeah.
It's not that easy. You have to take into consideration a lot of things about the capacity of
servers and stuff. Yeah. Okay, I figured there's something there. But that's really, really good news. I know people are going to be thrilled about that. What about, so 200 to everything, artifact, accessories, and champion storage. What about blessings? People hate polymorph, Cirilla. Any thoughts on that? Are you happy with where polymorph stands right now?
Not really. We tweaked it, and we still see that it's not performing in a satisfactory way. So we thought that we would tweak it even more, and that is planned for like the beginning of next year. What we were thinking about is making it proc once per instance, and that would help to mitigate some effects from the existing meta in the game. We all know what meta we are talking about, but yeah, this is happening in.
So that means you will only be able to proc polymorph once in a battle, once in an arena, which just tells me that they're going to be introducing more champions that have polymorph in their kit, like Sun Wukong. This may make kind of a difference. Is it still going to be worth it to have it? Probably not. But I think what they need to do is the whole blessings need to be, kind of reworked, because there's a lot of them that could be useful that we could use. That we just don't, right? And there's some that are just kind of dead, like they're just sitting there. But I think this might actually make Druck a little happy.
In the next several months.
Okay, all right, okay, that's good to hear. How about all? I mean, you probably, I don't know if you watch all our videos or anything. I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I mean, you've got to hear everybody complaining about the, yeah, it's cool that you release new champions. We dig it. I think that overall people like new champions. All that being said, though, is what about all the crappy ones out there, or ones we mentioned, Rosin Scarhide, for example. I don't need you to comment directly on him, but like, I love Rosin, right? But he's 91 speed. He's a legendary Cirilla. Like, what about all the mediocre or power crept legendaries and epics and voids? Because when you pull a void legendary, man, you want it to be a good one. If it's a bad one, you feel like, there it goes, I reset my mercy and I'm doomed. Rebalancing, are you guys going to up the cadence a little bit? It's been like 5 months since you've rebalanced.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned this, that there was a period of time, and I'm sure you remember it, when we would regularly rebalance a batch of champions like every month or every 2 months, 3 months, and then the pace slowed down a bit because the team that is that specializes in rebalances worked on like other champions, new champions, mythical champions. Now we are gradually coming back to the pace where we'll try to rebalance.
Way I'm reading that is, yeah, no, we were updating everybody every so often, rather than taking part of the team and moving them over to that one. We wanted to go full cash out mode, so we started throwing all these new legendaries at you, and all these shard events. Which, hey, listen, they're a company; they got to make money. They're not going to make money off of free-to-play players. I get it. But I think like they could have kept some people still on that. We have a lot of champions in game, right? We don't need to have, 15 different champions coming into the game every couple of weeks or months or whatever. If we get like a one fusion plus one more champion, cool. But especially if they focused all of their new, or all of that team onto like the new champions and the mythicals, like, I feel like the mythicals were just a big drop on that one, pretty big fail.
At least several champions every month, and this will start from the beginning of next year again. And the first ones are, if I'm not mistaken, Fortis and Angar.
Yeah.
Okay. Fortis, actually, I just pulled a dupe of him, so I'm glad to hear that one. Angar, not somebody I have yet, but although I do actually, I think I have him on one of the alt accounts, but Fortis, I'm kind of happy for. I want to see him buffed. I want to see what he can actually do, because they already kind of semi-buffed him, and it wasn't. Yeah. He's still bad.
I like that. Fortis and Angar, man, those are two of my least favorite. Actually, I think that Fortis could be amazing if he was fixed, aka balanced properly. So that's really cool. What about epics? Are you guys going to touch on epics and rares? It feels like some of them have, the more legendaries. Frankly, and to your credit, I mean, Sun Wukong is amazing. Artak was amazing. So you keep releasing these awesome free champions that frankly also, like Newt, for example, like Power Cup Septimus. Like, as these champions fall off a little bit, are you thinking about going and touching up, especially some of those epics and stuff like that?
Well, I think yes. It's just that we first want to focus on legendaries, and then maybe once in a while we would ask our game designers and players have a really vocal opinion about that once they go on the community platforms and express their opinion and on which champions should be tweaked. But then again, justified opinion and with very good arguments, so that we could review it and decide who we're going to go for next.
Yeah, you guys.
So again, legendary champions bring in money, right? People are going to build them. People are going to want to go after the legendary champions. Kind of caters a little more to the pay-to-win players, long end game players. So they want to rebalance those first, as opposed to the epic champions. Although I do feel like for somebody coming into the game, brand new, they're going to find more progression and better gameplay if some of the epics were a little more balanced. You don't have to balance them all right at the same start, but let's start with the login champions first, right? Because some of those are absolute garbage.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's the answer. Pretty much.
I would love to see you guys start working a bit with the community. Obviously, the community would not dictate how you develop your game, but there's some guys, as there's some tremendously, unbelievably studious students of the game, I should say. Like Saf, it comes to mind, from HH Gaming Network. Like, man, that guy is insane the way he looks at the next level. So it'd be cool, not just Saf, but other people like him, if you started taking their feedback a little bit in terms of suggestions and whatnot, that could properly balance some of these champions without making them broken or disrupting the balance of the game. So that's cool. This is a massive one, Cirilla, and I don't know if you have an answer for it, but speaking of epics and rares, do you guys think there's any plans to allow empowerment there as well at any point in the future?
No, I don't think there's an answer for that.
Well, I feel like
the face, it was like, really? You think we're... No, not happening. No, but I agree with Ash. There definitely should be some, at least for epics. We pull so many of them. You don't need to +4 them, but +2ing them, especially if the content's going to get that much, difficult. Help players progress through the game. Give them a little bit more so they can start using some of those copies that they're getting. Because let's just face it, at some point, we're pulling so many shards that they're just becoming a 4-star chicken or a 3-star chicken, and they're just taking up vault space. You wouldn't have to add vault space in the game if you allowed us to empower the champions, or if you allowed us to turn those 3 and 4-star champions that we pulled into chickens, right? So, you're saying that it takes a lot more work to be able to, make these champions into, give us more space for champions and artifacts and all that. But at the same time, you're not addressing the issue of, just get rid of the champions when we don't want them. Let us turning them into a chicken, and that's it.
I have to ask, because that's like the number one thing. Well, not the number one. I'm always rambling about everything, right? But that's one that I think would just be so cool, right? All right, so I have to ask you one more time. Any other hints? We talked about the big feature that's bigger than Doom Tower. Any other hints at any new content coming to the game? Maybe maybe either that feature or anything else that you're planning, that you're working on roadmap wise.
Well, yeah, one other huge thing is Clan Wars. And there are not going to be anything like the current CVC tournaments, clan versus clan tournaments that we have right now. It is something completely different. And because this is a very complex feature, we don't want to rush with anything. We have to really thoroughly work on every single detail and make sure that it's done really well before we release it. But this is something that we're working on actively, yes.
This is insane.
Clan Wars. I don't know. CVC usually just sums up credit card versus credit card. Clan Wars, credit card versus wallet, maybe. I really hope that she's not, that she's being really serious, that it's actually going to be about a clan performing better against another clan. Maybe attacking some sort of like base or something, and, something like that. I really hope that, it comes out to that kind of point, and it's just not another who can do more dungeons and this and that, right? Like, it's just going to be, if it's that, then it's going to be dead content.
Okay, so to be clear, the Clan Wars, which I've been asking for since I started playing this game, I think a Clan Wars done right could give another 5 years of life, if not more, to Raid Shadow Legends. That social dynamic is so huge,
Great.
So to be clear, that Clan Wars was not the same big feature that you were talking about earlier.
No, it's something else.
Is that? Do you think that's going to be this year, or is that kind of TBD on Clan Wars?
It is next year.
Next year, okay, probably Q1.
Yeah, no commitments on that one, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get some sort of big update this year, some sort of big update next year, but the Clan Wars, I mean, again, I'm a little skeptical on it, on what exactly it's going to mean.
Well, I'm old, so I'm patient. I don't know how my viewers will feel like, but as long as I know it's coming, and I would even, this was going to be unpopular to say with some of my audience, but I would encourage you guys to delay as long as you have to nail it, to your point, because I feel like that's something that the balance needs to be there. Everything needs to be there for it to, because if it's awesome, that will be huge. If it's not, it will be a big disappointment, right?
As a long-term player, I couldn't agree more with Ash on that. Like, you really need to have, just take your time, release it out properly, because when you go through, a lot of the times you guys have been releasing stuff and it just comes out, just bad overall, and you're not quick to fix the issues. So, just take your time, release it, get it done right, and, players will be really happy, really ecstatic that something's coming into the game that, we can all enjoy.
So anyway, anything that I didn't ask you about, this is my cheap interview question of the video. Anything I didn't ask you about, the more good news you can share. I feel like this has gone very well personally. It'll be well received with the because we've been like, I don't want to use the S word, but things, without having any idea of what's coming, things feel maybe a little on the stale side a little bit, so this is actually great news that all this is coming. Yeah. Is there anything else, quality of life, small, big, that's coming that you can tell us about?
Well, a couple of other good things is that we are going to add permanent super raids to dungeons.
I think that is the best thing that they could have said, is adding the permanent super raids onto the dungeons. I mean, it's about time. It's about time. It only took them a year to get this put in, if not more. But okay, that I give a thumbs up on too.
In replacement to those events that we turn on right now from time to time. So that will address a little bit the issue of the time spent in the game. Also, the artifact ascension reroll. We're gonna let players reroll the bonuses that you get from artifact ascension, and that is coming, I think, also next year, like in the first half.
That's good and bad. Good because it allows us to reroll sets, the Ascensions. Bad because now every piece, if it's more than maybe one or two, every piece is going to have like the best in slot stats. So your crit damage gloves are going to have crit damage. Your crit damage neck piece are going to have crit damage. Your speed boots are going to get speed. So I really hope that's not the case, because that's just going to make things even more pay to win. And I feel like if it's just maybe an extra one or two rolls, that's fine. But if it's going to be, multiple times, that I'm not a fan of. I think that is going to be bad.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, cool. What about this is like probably something that nobody cares about except for me, but because I'm dirty and I bought all the champions I want to buy or whatever. But what about that little refresh button on the life tokens? You know what I'm saying? Like with Sir Nick and stuff in there. You guys ever gonna like give us some more in there or what?
That's like we can leave it out. That's a painful question, but I'm actually going to go with this question next week and talk with the team lead of game designers and demand an answer from them.
Okay. What about Epic?
She's putting her foot down. She's going to demand an answer. She's going to demand an answer. Yeah, I mean, it's been long enough, guys. We really need something in that life. So, they got to do something about it, because it's just been way, way too much. It's just stale. Like, I bought my Tomb Lord out of it, and I don't need anything else. So, we got to get something else out of there. Let's just say that. And then, let's reduce the amount of tokens, because I'm sure not a lot of players are using that anyways.
Epic Empowerment and like life token shop refreshes. Do you have any news on either of those items? Because Epic Empowerment would be awesome, and so would getting some updates to those those life token champions.
Well, to be honest, we haven't discussed this with the team. I know that players have been talking about this largely, but I'm gonna have to get back to you on that and actually find out what the game designers think about that.
Okay, that's fair. So no good news, but no bad news. Just no news on that.
Right.
On that. Okay, fair enough.
Let's not kid ourselves. It's not the game designers, it's the monetization team. So they got to improve it first before anybody else does.
Listen, Cyril, you've been incredibly generous with your information and your time. I want to thank you a lot for coming on.
All right, so I think that's pretty much the end of this. What are my thoughts? Well, so first of all, the cadaver nerf it's very bad. I am not really happy about it. They basically nerfed the cadaver for both Clan Boss and for Hydra. I mean, I got members from the community already. I mean, like, I quit. They nerfed my Clan Boss team. They can't figure out something else to fix. So rather than fixing, what could be done with the current comp, maybe, rebalancing something else, they decided that they're going to nerf cadavers A1 to 200,000, which not really worth it, right? Other than that, like, the mythical champions, I feel like were a total bust. We'll see next week the mythical champion that we're going to get as a fusion. I'm really worried that they're going to gate it behind legendary champions. And how many legendary champions are you going to have to feed to get one? If it's 10, let's say 10 epics that you could do, I think that would be a little bit better, right? Even if each epic's got to be 5-star. I'm perfectly fine. I'm sitting on quite a few of them, right? That's why I always keep a copy of every epic that I have, right? You never know. So I think something like that might be kind of cool if they do it that way. Clan Wars. I'm still a little concerned. I feel like it's just going to be credit card versus wallet, right? Until they show us what it's going to be. As for the new content in the game, that they say is going to be better than Doom Tower, I have been playing Watcher of Realms, which is a tower defense game, and I'm kind of hoping that that's where they go with. We can use some of these champions to kind of fight on the waves or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be a great way, and I think if they did it that way, we could take Clan Wars actually to that as opposed to anything else, right? If they implement those two systems, I think that would be great. But she did talk about the C. She said the next content is going to be a C, which I don't really know. Could it be something that has to do with Hydra? There's Cradle of Fire, the Great Sea Serpent, the Serpent Sea. So could it be down here somewhere? I don't know. She said it's not the Great Void, so I can't see what else is up higher up. Maybe I'll have to look at the roadmap and see what else is in there. But yeah, overall, there's going to be a lot of good things coming out of it. I'm happy about the super raids. But yeah, we're going to have to kind of hold our horses as it comes out. And again, I think the major patch is going to be something around this, but we'll have to wait and see. Hydra is kind of content, right? Not a lot of people are happy for it. Not a lot of people do it. And the people that do it to the point where it's kind of led to death. So, as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.